Welcome to Cooking with Kara. Today we're going to make some taffy. It's going to be a lot of fun. A little bit of hard work, but great tasting stuff. So let's get started. The ingredients that you will need to make saltwater taffy are salt, cornstarch, sugar, light corn syrup, butter, flavoring, food coloring. You'll also need some non-cooking spray, or you can use butter. Utensils that you'll need are a wooden spoon, a spatula, a basting brush, a candy thermometer, measuring spoons, measuring cups, and a saucepan. A cooling rack, a cookie sheet, a pastry knife, but you can use a regular knife also. You don't have to have one of these. And you'll need some wax paper and some rubber gloves and a pair of kitchen scissors. We're going to start off by adding 1 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and we're going to take that and we're going to mix it together and get the lumps out of the cornstarch. During this process, your stove is not on. You're just adding all of your ingredients first. Do not heat this. You just want any kind of lumps. You can also sift it in here if you want to make sure that there's not any lumps, which would probably be better. But I didn't bring my sifter, so. Okay. And then you're going to add 2/3 of a cup corn syrup. Okay. 2/3 of a cup of corn syrup. You need a 1/2 cup of water. And a teaspoon of salt. And then a tablespoon of butter. You want to cook this at medium to medium-high heat. So depending on your stovetop, you may want to cook it at medium. And then adjust the thermostat as you go. Depending on the size of the candy, this could make anywhere from 35 to 50 pieces. Notice I stop stirring every now and then to see if it's starting to bubble. Because if your spoon is moving, you can't, it's really hard to tell when it starts boiling. So when it starts boiling, you want to stop stirring. And you don't stir it again until you add your flavoring or your coloring. Looks like it's wanting to start boiling. And there it goes. Okay, when it starts boiling, you add your candy thermometer, and we're going to cook it to 249 degrees. No hotter, no cooler. 249. While that is cooking, get your basting brush, dip it in water, warm water, and what you're going to do is you're going to just kind of clean up the sides of your pan, get all of those sugar crystals off of the side of the pan. I'll turn my heat down just a little bit. And then just let it boil. I'm not sure if you can see that the line is right there. It's a little bit above 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can see the little crystals building up right there, so I need to wipe it down some more. And while that is boiling, what we're going to do is we're going to grease our cookie sheet. I tried using butter, but it was too much butter. So we're going to use a non-stick cooking spray. put my gloves on, and I'm gonna rub that around on the pan too, so it's not so thick on there. And you also, which is good because you also want your gloves to be well greased. So I'm just gonna kind of, okay. It's pretty good. Like I said, you want your gloves to be greased, so you can just go ahead and grease your gloves really good. And you'll probably have to grease them a couple of times because the taffy will stick to these gloves. I'm gonna turn off our burner and move it off here. Do not put your candy thermometer in cold water because it will break. I'm gonna pour it onto the grease cookie sheet and the cooling rack. We want it cool enough that we can pick it up and pull it with our hands without it burning us. But before, once I get all of this out that I can get out, I'm gonna split this because my coworkers want 2 different flavors. So I'm going to let this cool just a second, and then I'm going to split it of red, maybe a little bit. You want to put a teaspoon of flavorings. Okay. Almost waited too long to add that, but once we start pulling it will. Okay, while our candy is cooling, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some wax paper. We're gonna get some paper scissors, not our kitchen shears, but some paper scissors. And we're gonna cut up some candy wrapping paper. And we're gonna cut it about 2 to 4 inches wide by 2 to 4 inches deep. And they don't have to be pretty. We'll try to get our candy about the same size every time, but I haven't mastered that yet. So smaller paper will call for smaller candy. And you can buy flavoring at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take it and you're just gonna stretch it and pull it, stretch it and pull it. And you're gonna do this for about 15 minutes. And as you pull it, you can see that it's starting to change colors. It's starting to lighten and fluff. You can smell that watermelon. Pulling it, it'll start cooling and it'll become a little harder to pull. Okay, when we get done pulling it, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna roll it up like this right here and set it aside. make this like a rope. Trying to keep it the same all the way through. I haven't been able to master that yet, so. I'm gonna take my kitchen shears. I'm gonna cut it. Get my wax paper. Drop it on my wax paper. Roll it. And twist it like so. And there's my first piece of candy. And there you go is your saltwater taffy. I hope you guys enjoy it, try it. Let me know how it turns out. And I will see you next week with Cooking with Kara.